Alright, welcome to Frank Teaches DevOps. Yeah, my lovely viewers, Yeah. As rightly promised, you know, today's video, we will be talking about GitHub Actions. Alright, still on GitHub Actions, on how to use GitHub Actions to build and publish Docker images to AWS ECR. Alright, in our previous video, we looked at how we built and published Docker images to Docker Hub with GitHub Actions. So in today's video, we are going to be doing similar thing, but in a different environment. All right, to a different environment. All right. So if you've not watched that video, my video, you better go and watch it. Let me just show us quickly. Go to my channel, come to my channel and view channel, and it should be here. Let's search for GitHub Actions. So that's my channel, guys. All right, subscription has been very poor, very poor, very poor. Guys, you can do better. Right? Support us, guys. We need the support. All right, so here is a video: GitHub Actions, build and publish Docker images towards Docker Hub. All right, so guys, you don't need to miss it. All right, so yeah, that's it. So there are a lot of things I would be skipping in this video. Things like getting started with GitHub Actions. All right, those basic things that you need to know, you need to understand before diving into GitHub Actions. I won't be talking about those things in this video. I'll be going direct. So if you need to have an idea of those things like GitHub components, all right, you need to go and watch the video that I just showed you. All right, so yeah, so in this video we would be building and publishing our Docker images to AWS ECR. All right, so this is the flow. What is GitHub Actions? GitHub Actions is a CI/CD tool that allows you to automate your build and test processes. All right, great. Guys, you need to go and watch the first video. All right, great. So let's look at the architecture. Sorry, I'm supposed to write something here. Architecture. Okay, great. Here is my architecture. So let me just give you a run through. So now, this is my GitHub. Sorry. So here's my GitHub. Right? So my GitHub, I have my code base. Let's put it somewhere. I have my code. Base. Let me just give it some fancy coloring. Does it make sense? Okay, right, we know. All right, I have my code base. Okay. Oh. All right. So I have my code base. All right, great. So on the same GitHub, on top of it, there's a CI/CD tool called Actions. All right, Actions. So your GitHub Actions is on top. From the design of GitHub. All right, it's on top of our GitHub. So it's like it's integrated already. It's part of GitHub. It's not something that is separate. It's somewhere. So it is part of your version control system. All right, great. All right, so that part is just, let me say, a feature of GitHub. Right? Yeah, GitHub Actions is a feature of GitHub. All right, which you use to write CI/CD. Great. So now here's the flow. Now the first thing first, I have to integrate my GitHub with my what? AWS account. AWS account, right? I'll first of all integrate this guy to AWS, right? Well, let me do something. AWS. All right. So I'll first of all integrate GitHub with AWS via what? My IAM credentials, identity and access management credentials. So on AWS side, I'll be creating credential, then I'll install those credentials. After creating the credentials, I'll install those credentials on GitHub. So that's why you see this arrow here, right? That's why you see this arrow here, right? Great. So once all of these has been set up, it means that I've now authenticated. It means I'm now authenticated to AWS from what? From GitHub, right? AWS to GitHub. Great. Then here are the steps. Here are the steps I'm going to follow in actualizing this whole thing. The first thing first is I'm going to create a workflow. It is in the workflow that I will define my processes, all right? My processes. That's one. Then two, I'll go on AWS to create my IAM credentials, all right? Then after that, I'm going to install those credentials on GitHub. Then I'll go back to AWS to create both public and private ECRs. ECR is Elastic Container Registry. So I'll be performing this demo with both registries. All right, both public and private registries. Meaning that this is what you have here, AWS ECR. So meaning that I'll write a script, a pipeline that will build and publish your image to the public registry and the private registry. So we're going to see all of these in action. Then after that, then the last one is start writing your GitHub action pipeline script. So straightforward, guys. Straightforward and simple. So without further ado, let's get started. I'll be showing us my GitHub account with my code base. Let's go there, guys. Let's go. All right. So this is my repository. All right. So this is my GitHub repository. Okay. So here's my code base. Okay. So I just need to dockerize a simple Node.js application. All right. So no need to go into the Node.js application though. Let's look at the Docker file. So just straightforward Docker file, very straightforward, right? With this Docker file, I will be dockerizing this entire code using GitHub Actions. All right, great, good. So now let's go to our whiteboard. Our steps: create a .github workflow build.yaml file. All right. So let me go there. Not this. All right, great. So let me create. So I'll come to this add to add a file. So it has to be .github /workflows/ all right, let me call it build.yaml. All right, build.yaml. I can just go ahead to commit. All right, let's just commit. That's okay. It's an empty file. So this file has been created. All right, the github /workflows/build.yaml is an empty file. That's the first step. All right, now go to AWS to create IAM credentials. Right, so now I'll be going to AWS. Go to AWS. This is my AWS. All right, then I'll come to IAM. Bam, bam, bam. All right, I'll go to users. I have one user. This user, Frank. Come to security credentials. Scroll down. Create access key. CLI, I understand. Next. Create. So I have an access keys, right? Great. Right? Now I will be installing. Let's go back. Take it one step at a time. Now we've done that. Then step 3 says install the IAM credentials on GitHub. Alright? So we're going to install those credentials on GitHub. So let me go to my GitHub. First, yes, my GitHub. Alright? Now on the repository, not on the organizational level, on the repository level. So what I will do now, I'll go to settings. I'll go to settings. Now on my left hand side, I'll come to secrets and variables. Then I'll come to actions. All right, because I need to use those secrets. I need to use those variables I'll create as secrets. Sorry, as actions. On actions, right? So come here. Then I have secret and variables. All right, secret and variables. So my concern is secrets. So I click on secrets and click on what? New repository secrets. New repository secrets. So I'll click on new repository secrets. So what I will now do here is the first one will be my access key. So access key, I have it here already. So I'll go and copy the access key. Come over here, copy this access key, come back and paste that. Paste it. Click on what? Add access key. All right. So since it is secret, you won't see the value. You only see what? The name, the key. You won't see what the value is. It's a secret. Great. So I'll click to create new one. Another. The next one will be secret underscore access key. Secret underscore access key, and the value. Copy the value. Come over here and paste that. Added. Then I need to create the region as well. All right. And new repository secrets. Then region is that the region is EU West 1. That's my region. Add secrets. Added. All right. Great, guys. Great. So with this in place, we are 50% integrating GitHub with what? AWS, my AWS account. All right, great. So let's go back to our whiteboard. Coming back to the whiteboard. Now we've done step 3. Step 4 now says go back to AWS to create both public and private ECR rules. All right, so let's go back there now. So I'll go back to my AWS account. Come to my AWS. Let me duplicate this page. Duplicate. Come to ECR as a service, Elastic Container Registry. Alright, so I'll come to my left hand side, left pane, and let's start with private repository. What should I call it? Click on create repository. Let me just give you the name. Let me call it merchant API. Merchant-API. Alright, that's it. Create. What was it complaining? Okay, because of the, let's use underscore. Merchant_API. Create. It's created. Alright. Now let's go to public repository. Now the difference between a private and a public repository is the private repository is private to the organization. Alright. Nobody can write to that repository. But the public repository is open. Anybody can write to that repository. So that's the difference. Alright. So let's create a public repository. I can just give it a name. Let me still call it merchant_API. Alright. It's public. And yeah, that's all, guys. Every other thing is optional. Create. So now we now have what? Both private and public registry. Now let's go on the final step. The steps now say start writing your GitHub Actions pipeline script. Great. So then let's go to our GitHub. So here's our GitHub, right? I'll go to my repository, click on my repository. Then the workflow that we created, click on it. In that workflow, there's a file called build.yaml. Click on it. Yeah, guys. And on my far right here, I'll click on the pencil or biro icon to edit, right? This to edit the file. Click on it to edit. Yeah, guys, let's get started. So the first line of any GitHub Actions is always what? The name of a workflow, right? The first line defines the name. So I can give this guy build to AWS ECR. Great. Now the second line will be, why is it giving me that on the line? Missing required roots. Okay, I'm not done yet. Second line with what? The on. Alright. So all of these was explained in my previous video. Okay, so this is the on keyword that takes in the on. The on is used to define what triggers the pipeline. All right, so in my case, I'm going to use an event called push. Right, there are several kinds of events. All right, so because I want the pipeline to build automatically whenever there's a push, there's a commit to the repository, right? So that's why I'm using what? The push events. Then down here I can now start defining my jobs, right? So the first job will be build to AWS ECR. All right, so the first job will be I would say, let me call this job login. Let me call it login, right? Login to AWS. So that's my first job. Then on this job, there's a runner. I'm using a runner. And to define a runner, I use a keyword runs on. So a runner is an agent. All right, it's an agent. And GitHub has self-hosted runners. These are runners that are owned by GitHub. And they also have GitHub hosted runners and self-hosted runners. So GitHub hosted runners are runners that are hosted by GitHub, while self-hosted are runners that you bring into GitHub, right? So for this, we'll be using what? GitHub hosted runners, so which is Ubuntu. Like I said, my previous video has all of these details. Ubuntu latest. So you need to go and watch that video. The next one is to define the steps, right? So in the first step will be actually a checkout, a code checkout. So this code checkout, what it will do, it will download the code from my repository, all right, so that GitHub Actions will be able to see it. Right, great. And there are actions that checkout uses. All right, now uses, all of these was explained in my previous video, which you need to go and watch. So it uses actions followed by checkouts at version 4. Great. All right, I can also look at my marketplace to pick these actions. I can come here and type checkout. The moment I do that, I will see checkout. All right, if I click on it, I'm going to get how to use these actions. All right, look at it now. The name is checkout. It uses these actions, and with is the configuration of that action. If you need to configure the action, all right, you use the keyword with followed by whatever you need to specify. All right, so we're coming to other actions where we would see how to configure those actions as well. All right, so that's it. The next step will be actual login. All right, name, login to AWS. All right, then we are using an action. Uses AWS dash action. I can also come here and check for that AWS action. Let's come to my marketplace. Here my marketplace. Go back please. Reject search results and search for AWS login. AWS login, AWS ECR, AWS login. I need AWS login itself. AWS login. Let me check this. No, this is not it. All right, let me bring up the one that looks like it. So that would be AWS dash actions slash configure dash AWS dash credentials credentials at v4. All right, great. Now we are configuring this action. So we are configuring this action with, that's why we're now using the with keyword. Now this action comes it comes with well, let me search AWS credentials. Configure AWS credentials for GitHub. Let me see this. Perfect. This is what you need, man. So that's it. So yeah, so the action name is AWS credential and uses AWS dash actions slash configure dash AWS dash credentials at version 4. Then uses, these are the use keyword, like I said, is used to configure the action with AWS dash region, AWS access key, AWS secret key, AWS session. There are lots of configurations to these very action in particular. So it uses, let's come down, AWS dash access dash key dash ID. All right, so let's come down, AWS dash secrets dash access dash key. Let me just still bring it up here. So you have the first one, AWS access key ID. All right, then AWS secret access key, then finally the region, AWS dash region. Where is that guy? I think it should be down there. AWS. All right, so yeah, AWS dash region. So come over here and AWS dash region. Right now I need to call those variables, those secrets, and how do I call it within the pipeline? So to call it within the pipeline, I'm going to use something called what's it called? It's called GitHub Actions expression. Expressions were explained in my previous video, right? So expressions are used, all right, to contain secrets, variables, environment variables, secrets, all right, to call particular, they're actually used to call particular GitHub Actions functions. All right, yeah, they're like functions, so expressions are like functions. So now for me to call that secret that God created, so it will be access underscore key. So that's the secret name. However, if I leave it like this, it's not going to work, right? It's not going to work because GitHub Actions doesn't know what is this. It doesn't know if it's a variable or a secret, right? Now, for me to tell GitHub Actions that this is a secret, I will precede this secret name with the keyword secrets dot the secret name. So this way, you will be able to access this value, the access underscore key value. All right, so great. So let me just copy because of time. Copy this guy, copy, and come over here, column, paste. The next one will be access key, right? So secret. So our access key is secret underscore access key, access underscore key. So that's what we created. Then the last one is secret dot region. Great, guys. So we've created, with this so far, we can comfortably log in, authenticate from GitHub towards to AWS. So let's commit and let's see what happens. So I will commit these changes, commit. So let's know that that phase has been taken care of, which is the authentication phase. Now, for we to know that this pipeline is running, there's a menu here called Actions. So right click here, go to Actions. You see it has already started building. All right, so let's click on it and see what was in there. Log into AWS. All right, so let's see. So it was successful. So let's look at the state, the very this is the name of the job. Log into AWS. Let's open it. So login was successful. All right, using these actions. All right, you can see all of these, it was successful. So login, at this stage now, we've been able to what? To create that connection between GitHub Actions or GitHub and what? And your AWS account. All right, so now let's go back to our YAML file. Here's our YAML file. All right, so edit. Great. Now this is one job. I'm going to be creating another job. This first job was just to authenticate, right? Log into AWS or authenticate to AWS, right? Now the next job will be to build towards to build and push to AWS public repository. All right, so I'll create a new job. For that, I'll be copying this. I've copied that job. I'll come down, paste it. All right, guys, you have to be very, use YAML, you have to be very careful. These things have to align. It's not aligning. All right, for that I'll push it a bit. Let me see. Let me count. 1 2 3 3 goes up. All right, so I'll come here and say 1 2 3 goes up. All right, so it's fine now. But the name, I need to change the name. So this will be build to build and push. Sorry, build and push to public ECR. All right, build and push to public ECR. So that's the next job, build and push to public ECR. So this same job, we're still going to run on an agent. It runs on Ubuntu latest. All right, then the step. Okay, so every job must, in every job we must authenticate. All right, so this was authenticating toward AWS account. So the next one is we need to authenticate to AWS ECR. We also need to authenticate to AWS ECR. All right, so this next job is to build and push to the public ECR. All right, so for that we also need to authenticate into the container registry. All right, container registry. And for that I'll be bringing this stage somewhere. Let me remove this stage here. I need it somewhere. All right, so I need it somewhere. All right, let's allow it. So let's go to log into AWS ECR. Okay, so now there is an action that controls logging in into ECR, and that action is, let's come over here, let's say ECR login. Let me check this. No, this is not what I want. Let's check AWS ECR. Let me check this. No, this is somebody else. It's Docker. AWS push. Let me check this. Alright guys, let me just, I have it in my head. Right, so the action is docker slash login dash. Okay, it uses the same action as Docker. So it uses the same action as Docker. So we'll be using Docker. Come over here, say Docker. It uses the same action as Docker. Action. Alright, let's continue, guys. Alright, so Docker slash login dash action at v3. Okay, now the configuration, I would have loved to see this guy. Wait, let me check one more time. Docker login. All right, Docker, thank you. Like this is it. Yeah, Docker slash login dash action at v3. That's it, guys. All right, so this is the action we're going to use to authenticate to AWS ECR. Okay, now the configuration, it uses username, right? It uses password, right? So for that, I'm going to I'm configuring it. So with first we have to specify the registry. It also uses registry. So I'll come over here. I will say registry column. Now I need to go and pick the public registry of my AWS ECR. So for that, I'll come over here back to my container registry. Here's the public repository. I'll click on the repository name. So the moment I click on the repository name, up here I will see what view public listing. Sorry, I will say view push commands. Right? So if I click on view push commands, I'm going to see steps, procedures on how to build and push Docker images to AWS ECR public registry. All right? So for that, I'm going to look at my registry. My registry should be something public.ecr.aws. So this is my registry name, right? So I'll copy that guy, copy it, come over here, come back, and registry, bam. So that's my registry. So that's the registry I am pushing to, right? So the next on the list is username. So username. So for username, I will stick to my words, to my access key. I'm going to stick to my access key. For the username, access key. Then for password, this will be password. I'll stick to what? Secret underscore access key. Alright? Great. Then for the region, I'll be passing the region as an environment variable. So this is what I will do. Alright? So the region, I will pass it as an environment variable. So I'll come over here, come here, and come down. Make sure that you say env, right? Env, then you specify your AWS region, AWS region. This is perfect, guys. So this is what you do, man. All right, great. Then after that, I thought to have brought this guy here. First of all, we need to log in. But whichever case, I think it will go. All right, let's leave it there. Then the next step now is the actual Docker build. The next step. Now come back to the next step. the next step will be dash name. So this next step will be build image, right? So now, so this build image, I'm going to use the keyword run. So run is used to pass command. All right, now since I am running more than one lines of code, all right, one lines of command, I'll be using a YAML feature called piping, right? So whenever there's a pipe, whenever I introduce a pipe, it means that I'm telling YAML that I'm going to be running more than one lines of code, right? Multiple lines of code. So that's why I tell I introduce what the character, the piping character, right? So I'll come down and come over here. I'll say docker build, right, -t. I'll call it a React app, a React underscore app, then dots. I'm using that dot because of my Docker file is in my current root directory. Then the next one will be Docker. After building, you have to tag it. Docker tag your React underscore app, all right, column latest, okay, to your registry. And my registry is this, which I copied, public.ecr.aws / let's go and look at what they have here. Now this is what they are doing here now. So when you're tagging, this is how you're tagging. Docker tag your image name, then with this. So this is what I need. So I'll copy all of this, copy merchant, copy. So they call it merchant API, or that's okay. I can change that React app. Let me call it merchant API, merchant underscore API. That's great. Then here comes merchant underscore API. Then let's paste this guy. Paste. Alright, so here's my registry, followed by repository, then the repository name, merchant underscore API, column latest. Alright, so if I use latest, let me change something. So I won't say build underscore ID. Alright, so let's use an expression. So dollar open, I'll say build. Okay, let me just use only one. Build underscore ID. Let me see if this will work. So build underscore ID, so that the ID will keep changing, right? Each time I publish to that container registry, right? So finally, I will now have the last part which says to push. Docker push. Let's look at the command here. Docker push this guy, right? So here's the command. Docker push. Let me just copy it. Copy. Come over here. Alright. So I paste that. Docker push merchant API build underscore ID. So dollar open brace build underscore ID. So every build comes with an ID. So that's why I want that ID there. Alright. So great. So we're through, guys. So let's see if this thing will work. Alright, but we're having some error here. An underline. What's it saying? Bad indentation. Alright, so you have to be very careful. Indentation is key. Let's see. Indentation is key. Let me take it back. Okay. It's now okay now. You have to be very careful about your indentation. Indentation is very, very key. So let's now commit and see what happens. So this is, we are building towards the public ECR. So let's commit and commit. Let's see if everything goes fine. Now let's go to the second tab that has the action open. Alright, so let's refresh. We should see the workflow that's getting started. Alright, great. So now here we are going to have two jobs. Right, these jobs are running concurrently, which I don't like. So I'm going to change it. Alright, so they are running concurrently. I think so. All right, so I'll change it so that they will run in sequence. So for that, I'll use a keyword called depends on. All right, depends on. Okay, this job failed. All right, so let's check. Build. I think it's that area that's invalid reference formats. It's about that tag. Is that tag that's build ID? All right, maybe. All right, let's do something literal. All right, so for us to use something very literal, let's go back. Then let's go to our actions, edit. Then let me just use something. Let me change this. Oh, build ID. Build. Maybe I don't have a better name. Let me just keep it simple. V1. But it's something that I'm supposed to work on and change. There are other expressions I could use. Maybe they're not off my head for now. Alright, so yeah. And I need since there are two jobs there, I want this job to run first, the login job to run first before this job. I don't want them to run at the same time. Alright, so there should be a dependency. So for that, somewhere here, I'll come down here. That should be under runs. Okay, so should be, there's a keyword called needs. So this job, the second job needs the first job, meaning that the first job will run first before the second job will run. So that's trying to set up your job in sequence and not in parallel, in sequence, so that the first job finish running before the second job will run. So this second job needs the first job, and the first job is log into AWS. Let me copy that. Copy. Log into AWS. Come down here. Paste. Alright, great. So the second job needs the first job. So with this now, they will run in sequence, and I've corrected that error. So let's commit and see what happens. So once this is committed, let's go to our actions tab. Something should pop up. Alright, something should pop up. It's failed. Maybe something is wrong somewhere. Something is wrong somewhere. So it's not, we've made a syntax error somewhere. Let's come back here. Let's come back. Or should I take this guy up? Alright, let me take this guy up. Copy this guy. Cut. Take it somewhere here. Put it somewhere there. Alright. I've seen it. Indentation. Alright, so it's fine now. Alright. So this job needs that job. Alright. So let's commit and commit. Okay, so let's check if everything goes well. Let's check. Should have 3. Another failure. Let's check. Invalid type in string lists. Invalid type. Oh, sorry. There should not be any column here. There's a column there, so there shouldn't be any column in the name of the job. All right, so that's the column. Let's edit. I just saw that now, so let's edit that, pull it up. Yeah, man, so I think we should be fine. So let's commit. It was just a syntax error. Commit. Great, guys. Let's check. Yeah, it's now building. So let's open the build. So you can see now they're now in sequence. They're not running in parallel. So this will finish running before the second one will pick up from where the first one stopped. All right, so let's watch. Let's wait. All right. It will take some time. So let me pause it. Once it finishes, I'll be right back. Okay, let's watch what this guy is doing. Let's go into the job. So yeah, run npm install 4 of 6. Okay, 5 of 6. Okay, has tagging been done? Tagging has been done. So tagging has been done. So pushing is now ongoing. Let's see. So log into ECR. Let's see. So here's the entire process. Okay, it's building the image. Take some time, guys. All right, so let me just pause and I'll be right back as well. So you can see it has finished building. So login was successful, and to ECR, and yeah, clean up, bam, job complete. Job complete. So it was successful. So now let's go and confirm if our image is on AWS ECR. So let's go there, come over here, I'll close this guy. All right, so I'll refresh. So once I refresh, you see our image here. You can see our image version 1. All right, version 1 is now here. All right, you can always open this version 1. Here's the image. If you want to pull it, here's the URI. You can always pull it. Docker pull with this link. So that's the path to the image. All right, so far we've just seen how we have been able, all right, to build and publish a Docker image to AWS public registry, right? So this is public registry. So we're going to be seeing the private registry. All right, so now let's see how to publish the private registry. All right, so it's very simple, straightforward, same thing. All I need to do, edit this guy. All right, so copy this entire job. All right, copy everything here. Copy this, copy. All right, copy, then bring it over here. 2, then 3, paste. All right, let's arrange, let's indent it properly. Proper indentation, is that okay? 1, 2, 3 goes up. All right, so what are we missing? Okay, same name. All right, build and push private ECR. All right, so good, we are good, guys. Now this job is going to depend on this other job. So this job name is this. Copy, bring it over here. It needs this guy, so paste it, and let's remove that guy. Great, remove our semicolon. So this job depends on the previous one. All right, so we are going to we're still going to be doing checkout. We will still log in. This okay, region. Then the only place that we're going to change is the build image. All right, so the build image. So what I'm going to change here is Docker build merchant API remains the same way it is. Now the tagging has to change now. So for the tagging, we would do something. We say Docker tag merchant API column latest. Then we'll now go to our ECR, our private registry. Open the repository. All right, so here's the repository. Once it's open, click on what? View push commands. Right, so we're going to look at the tag section. So Docker tag merchant API latest to this whole of these guys. So I'll just copy everything like this. Copy everything the same way it is. Copy. Now another thing that will change is the registry. Okay, the registry is, I'll show us, guys. That's what I will change. So let's come over here. Let me remove this. Remove. So we are tagging this guy. Paste that. Paste. There's a way I can cancel this. All right. Okay, I can push it. Let me push. Great. All right, so tagging my private let me give it v11. Let me call it v11. All right, then finally we want to push. So where's the push command? The push command is this: docker push that. All right, great. Come over here and do similar thing. So remove this, move everything, and paste that. All right, so docker push version v11. All right, great guys. All right, so let me increment this other one, v2. So this is not what I want to do. All right, this I'm supposed to just use an expression. I'll look for a proper expression on how to use it. Okay, so because it won't make sense, it won't be nice changing that value every now and then manually. All right, so what else? So now the registry, we need to change the registry. So here's the registry. So the registry would be can publish into the private registry, paste that, then it will be like this. It will be like this. Remove everything here, yes, and come over here. Good guys, so that's the registry. All right, so we are good to go now. Let's now build. Okay, let's now commit and so it will build. All right, so come over here, commit and commit. So let's check our actions tab. Come back here. That started. Now let's check how the job are arranged. You can see now they are now arranged in sequence. Log into AWS, build and push to public ECR role, build and push towards private ECR. So this is the flow, guys. This is the flow. All right, so this is the flow. So after this build, we will be introducing, let's say, expressions so that it will automatically increment the values, to increment the tag value. All right. Okay, it uses. Okay, so yeah, that's pushed. So let's wait for the third job. Let's just wait for the third job. Let's wait for the third job. Let's wait for the third job. Take some time. Let's wait for the third job. Let's pause. It's taking some time. Let's go in there and check. It's building. All right, so it's building. Take some time. Let's pause it. All right, so this was successful. You can see yeah, login was successful, and bam, so it was pushed. The image was published to the private registry. So let's go and check. Come over here, and we'll close this, and I'll refresh. The moment I refresh, I should see v11. Now I want to correct this behavior, this image tag. Right, so for that, let's quickly correct that. We're using I just remembered now, GitHub run ID. Yeah, instead of build ID, I'm using Jenkins terminology. That's why. Please guys, forgive me. All right, forgive me guys. So in place of this, I'll just use the run ID. Right, so I would say dollar, all right, GitHub underscore run underscore ID. Right, so that's the tagging. So let's copy that. Copy, come down, paste it. Yeah, so that it will be incrementing. Right, so the tag value will be incrementing. So paste and paste. You're good, guys. GitHub run ID, I think we are good. So commits and commit changes. Great. So let's go and check the next build. It has started, right? So yeah, so let's see how everything goes. So let's see how everything goes, guys. All right. Let's see how everything goes. Okay, let's see how everything goes. Let's open, let's view. It's building. Let's look at when it tags it, right? It's running npm install. Let's see. All right. Where is that tagging? GitHub run ID. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. All right. Where is that? Where is that tagging? Why can't I see it here? I can't see the tag here. Anyway, when we check on ECR, we're going to see that tag. Alright, so it was successful. You can see all 3 jobs ran successfully. Let's go to GitHub. Sorry, let's go to ECR. Alright, so this is my private. If I refresh, we should see a new tag. Yeah, this is the image tag, which is GitHub run ID. So this is GitHub run ID. So it will keep incrementing. Alright, so let's go to public repository. Open this guy, and we should have that. You can see, all right, it keeps incrementing. All right, so if I rerun the pipeline, let me rerun it one last time, guys. All right, so one last time, then we'll call it a day. Edit this guy, then just delete a space. Yeah, let's commit and voila, boom. So yeah, so guys, this is the full code, all right, on how to build and publish your Docker images to AWS Container Registry, either the public ECR or the private ECR. So with this, you can see we've been able to implement this entire process. All right, okay, so yeah, we've implemented the entire process with the help of what? GitHub Actions. So our images are now saved on either the public ECR or the private ECR. All right, so without much to say, let's check if that job has finished building. That's finished. Has it? No, it doesn't. Let's check. It was still building. Right, it was still building. Alright, it was still building. Alright, so let's wait. Let me pause it, guys. Let's pause it. So you can see with this, you have been able to implement Dockerizing your images, your code base, and publishing them as image to your AWS Container Registry. So guys, you can see a whole lot has been put into this, and like I always say, you guys need to encourage us. And how do you encourage us? You encourage us by subscribing to our channel, not just to watch. We are creating content, we are giving back to the community, but you have to show us some love. We need your love, guys. All right, show me love. Show me love. Share, spread my channel within your network. My channel is the highest, guys. This channel is the highest channel you have ever come across. So please give us, encourage us so that we'll do more. Thank you. You can see. Let's go and check. Refresh. I'll have a new GitHub run ID, right? So this is it, guys. You can always change that variable. You can always change this variable. I think there are lots of them, but I'm not having much off my head now. GitHub run ID, GitHub run number, and a whole lot. GitHub environment variables. Thank you. Yes. So GitHub environment variables. I think you can search that up. Let me see. GitHub environment variables lists. Let's check. GitHub environment variable. Yes. Default environment variables on GitHub. Let's check. So you can use them. I can use them GitHub underscore user, GitHub underscore. But this is how you find. I can get ID here. This is how you can find any environment variable you will want to use as a tag ID. All right. That being said, guys, I want to bring today's session to a close, and thank you, and see you in my next episode. Thank you, and have a lovely weekend.